Ladies and gentlemen, Two Dudes Talk Music in conjunction with E. Brown Industries and Big Jerry Burger brings to you everybody's new favourite game show, Get in the Bin. Now, let's go to our host, Reverend Raph and the beer buddy, Kyle. Welcome back to the Two Dudes Talk Music YouTube channel. I am the Reverend Raph, joined once again by my good friend Kyle, aka the beer buddy.
What's going on, everybody?
We are the Two Dudes who talk music, and we are back today on your Sunday night with everybody's favourite game show, Get in the Bin. We have with us today The Corners, which consists of Miles, Gabriel, Alex, and Jordan. And we are just going to go around one at a time, and these boys are going to each give us something that they would, like to kind of give the boot from the music business, music industry, whatever you want to call it. Something that they would put in the bin, fuck off out of the game. And
get rid of it.
and why they
Fix the problems.
why they would do that. So whoever wants to go first, what would you eliminate from the music business and why?
I gotta go with the typical drummer answer here of drum machines. It takes away from the art. I think drumming is a very nuanced instrument. It sounds a bit pretentious, but there's a lot of shit that goes on that not a lot of people realize. And I think by just having sort of like this sort of script that can do it for you sort of takes away from the artistry a bit. Yeah, I think that's about.
So I have a question. I have a question for you about that though. So are you talking about like programmed drum plugin type things, or are we talking like drum machines for like that specific style of beat? Because there's a nuance and an art to using like a drum machine, as in like if you've got like the 16 or the 8 sort of thing there and you're building something for like a hip hop style thing or whatever. So is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking more about like people using programmed drums?
I think more like, just like the program, like drum machine 100% has its like place in like hip hop and stuff. But like, if you listen to a pop track and it's like, I don't know, I always listen out for it. But if you can hear like a really fake sounding drum sound, it sort of just takes me out of the experience. Like I'd much rather hear like a kit than like a fake sounding kit. If that makes sense. Like sort of just lessens the experience for me. Like it makes it feel like less of a complete product.
It's very fair. I mean, I am, being a bass player, I'm often very precious about the use of bass guitar in certain things, but no, I get what you mean though. And you don't have to worry about sounding pretentious, mate. I'm the guy who sits on here about every third or fourth podcast and talks about while being a guitar player, you can pick up a bass and play the notes, but it's like a mental shift to from being a guitar player to being a bass player. And it sounds like such a wanky thing to say, but anyone who has gone between the two and is not talking in bad faith understands exactly what I'm talking about. So I get you.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I can go. So I think something that should be binned, depending on the circumstances, just lip syncing. Again, people will probably want to debate me on this one, but I just think like it's kind of different for, if someone like an artist is going on like a TV show or something, if it's, a sponsored performance or something. But I think if people are actually paying to see them perform, and like, how expensive concert tickets are, I think 99% of the time, I think it's just, especially if if it's a solo artist, I think it should be live vocals. And again, it really depends, but it's just one of those things that just bothers me. And that's like not including the instrumentation. Like I get it. Like sometimes they can't reproduce everything live, that they have in their studio. So they kind of have to fill it in. But I'm more talking about like vocals wise. But yeah.
Oh, strong agreement.
No, but even
then,
like they can some of the time they can at least like what you guys did. You said before in the podcast that you guys hired musicians to work with.
Yeah.
You even took that extra step. It would have been just as easy just to make the backing tracks.
But that's it.
Just as easy.
Backing tracks, like you're saying, like backing tracks are fine. It's the it's the
where you can at least try and use the basics.
It's the performance though. It's the performance. You wouldn't. Yeah, like I think that. Yeah, if you're talking actual concerts, like then
I think what was it? I heard the Venga Boys came out. I know this is really weird, but you know how like the Venga Boys came out, and they go, oh, part of this. So in Australia, by law, they have to tell you if they're going to limp sync.
Oh, really?
And what they do is they have to go. Part of this performance is pre-recorded and live.
Okay, that's interesting.
So that's what they had. Like, because if you get caught, bro, you're getting sued, mate, because you paid to go to a live fucking show.
Yeah.
So they have to. So the way they get around that is go. We've recorded. It's what you're hearing today. Some of it's pre-recorded, some of it's live. But it turns out for the trained ear, it's like, it's because otherwise it's false advertisement. Because you paid to go see a live show.
That's it. And I mean, look, you know, when you got someone like Pink who does all that kind of crazy acrobatic stuff during her set, and she's still actually singing. There's not really any excuse.
Yeah.
If you can't be up there performing it to that level and singing it for if you don't have the cardio, fucking train, get better.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If Pink can do all the shit that she does, and she can still sing, like,
and that's because she puts it. That's because she puts in the fucking work to be able to do it.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have the cardio to do that, either change your performance or fucking put the work in.
And that's why the tours are so few and far between. Those pumping world tours where she spends 6 to 8 months out on the road.
Who's next?
I think we've already talked about this, but I think having to have a big online presence before even being noticed or considered by a label. I think it's, especially with the way that social media is, I think it's really hard to be noticed at all. There's so much out there. Being able to just submit directly to a label and be like a label seeing that potential without having the online presence would be just a beautiful thing.
It's tricky because I mean, we went through this even before the modern, like when I say modern, I mean like of the last few years, but the vertical video content era, I guess you can call it. Even before that, when it was more still a Facebook thing, like you'd have bands that'd have very meme-centric pages, right? And they'd have be posting lots of memes, some of them related to their music, some not. And eventually you just they become meme pages that occasionally share music.
Yeah.
And people wouldn't interact with the music posts. That only interact with the meme posts, and you still get that these days, right? You have artists that they do a lot of jokey content, and especially, unfortunately, it's for there's a lot of women entering like the metal and rock space these days that are very overtly sexual in a lot of their music and their content, and that's fine. That's their prerogative to do that if that's what they want to do. I fully support people making the music that they want to make. But you do get for them a certain degree of engagement for just the sexual aspect of the content, not the thing. And you've got people that are like I think Varna's a great example. Like she's doing really cool stuff, and her following on TikTok is absolutely unhinged. Like it's crazy big following on TikTok, but you look at her on any other platform, and the numbers are not even close because there's a degree of the following, and I'm not saying this to discredit her music in any way. She's incredibly talented at like I said, the music she's putting in is great, but there is a large portion of her following on TikTok that only follows her, because that's they're engaging with her, with the fact that she's an attractive woman who's expressing her sexuality, not necessarily following her for her music. And I'm not saying that to put her down. I'm saying that to put down the people that are following her just for that. So it's such a it's the content game is a double-edged sword, you know.
And then you don't want to be considered like if you're saying with memes, if you start doing that, you might just be considered like a comedian rather than.
Yeah.
Because I remember I watch like a lot of documentaries and stuff of musicians, and I was watching Tyler the Creator talking about how when he was making Flower Boy, somebody came up to him and said, "Oh, like I love your show. I love all that. You're so hilarious. You're funny." And then after that, he said he deleted his Vine, got rid of his
Yeah.
YouTube channel,
Yeah.
just to be like, I am a musician. He was like, I wrote a string
Yeah.
section, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
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 But he set himself up. But that's the thing. It's like Oliver Tree as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have a look at Oliver Tree's career. It's the exact same thing. And he says this is in interviews. He was a serious musician, but when he was a serious musician, no one took him seriously. It wasn't until he started putting on like he wore those bell-bottom jeans, the weird jacket from the '90s, and had that bowl haircut. But then the music was good on top of that. All of a sudden, it was just the whole game changed.
So tricky. He has to find the right balance and
It's a juggling act, man, but it
find
shouldn't
what's
be.
going to get you
It shouldn't
there.
be.
Don't.
There was people's jobs. This is what labels were there for. Fucking, you had one job labels. You fumbled the bag and you're still making money.
Yet again, capitalism ruins everything.
Yeah.
What about you, Gabe?
Had a lot of good points here. I'd probably get rid of musicians. They introduce a high degree of unreliability and inconsistency in performance and recordings.
I was waiting to see where that was going. Now it all makes sense.
I think we need more mathematicians and programmers and this sort of thing. Economists engaging in the creative process.
Just math metal everything.
More numbers, please.
Yeah.
Ones and zeros.
I think we'd all enjoy a more perfect spectrum of music if this were to be the case.
Just be a gentle hum.
It's probably the most unique answer we've ever had.
Dude, that is genuinely. He turned on his own.
Yeah. Oh wow.
He's gone cannibalistic. He's gone full cannibalistic and turned on his own.
You just went scorched earth on everything, mate. What's the...
That's it. He's out of the band.
I'm tired. I'm really tired of this. Of playing.
I do not want to play.
I want a CPU to do it for me, please.
No. Shh. They'll hear you.
Yeah.
And then they'll still. Have you heard the problem? Let's sort of hit with that now. That these people have brought out AI music that they've brought out as their own, right? But they're pumping out so much music that now some other people's music is actually coming up copyright.
Wow.
Because it's just pumping out so much stuff.
But the problem is if you AI, there's already been court cases on it that's ruled AI stuff can't be copyright protected.
Good.
So if your music is getting copyright struck or like having issues with copyright stuff because AI music has come out and it's claiming that this AI music is the original, like the origin of it, and that you contest it. Absolutely contest it if something like that happens, because your AI stuff can't be copywritten, so therefore there can't be copyright strikes based on it. Anyway,
good.
There you go.
That was good.
There you go. That was Get in the Bin. Certainly some interesting answers in there.
That was cool.
But no, look, thank you so much for spending this time with us, guys. We have been, if you haven't already watched the Quick Question Quarter and the podcast with these guys, go back and check them out. But we will have links to everything that the corners have going on. They got new music coming out. They got gigs coming up. So go and check out what they're doing. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty good year for these boys. Thank you very, very much to Miles, Gabe, Alex, and Jordan for hanging out with us today. I am the Reverend Raph, joined with your buddy Kyle. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you didn't, downvote the shit out of it. Thank you very much for watching this far. Take care of yourselves and those around you, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell down there. It helps the channel grow. We are still a fairly young channel and we like to try and grow our audience all over the world. We do also, for those of you who are interested, have a Patreon. It's just a couple of bucks a month. At the moment, you get all the videos early and ad-free, but we are working on ways to increase the value of that and make it a bit more enticing. So don't forget to keep an eye out and check back on what's going on over there. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.